Okay, we're back with the Gotta Go Godzilla Podcast. It's me, Shadow Fox, and
Archimage.
And said,
we got 2-for-1 this time. I don't know how much you got.
"Oh no,
It's been a while since we done this.
Yeah, I actually don't remember where we were.
So last time, and good that we can pick this up. Last time we had Gigan, the cybernetic Cyclops with hooks for hand and a chainsaw for a belly. Completely not silly or stupid.
No, not at all. And his biology completely made sense.
I'm glad you think that because now we gotta go deeper.
For heaven's sake.
We gotta go much deeper.
Okay.
I
Okay,
mean,
so what you're saying is I need to go grab the alcohol. Okay.
I don't think there's enough alcohol.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed. So this time, the first monster, I'll give you a hint. He is known as the Guardian of Mu or the Guardian of Seatopia.
What?
Yes.
What?
The Guardian of Seatopia.
Is this that weird drill monster for the Atlanteans that lived?
Yep.
For the Atlanteans that lived inside the rock. That was a weird movie.
We got Megalon.
That thing, yes.
Do you guys actually hear the sound?
I did hear it.
Okay.
I was talking, but I heard it.
Well, yes, it's Megalon. I think the second inset, the third inset, no, the fourth inset monsters. We got a lot. Mothra, Kamuga, Koga, and yeah, so the fourth one. Drills for Hane, clearly based off of a beetle. And the second one, the full robot, known as Robot Man or a Warrior of Justice. Oh, Red Alone. No guesses for this one? A fan favorite.
I'm assuming it's Jet Jaguar. The moment you said robot.
There's only one robot that people know as a Warrior of Justice.
Pretty much. And, looking at him, again, it's some very flexible metal.
Oh, we're about to get into this flexible metal. So, with this, we'll start off with Megalon first. He is 55 meters tall, 4,000 metric tons. So, about 5 meters taller than Godzilla. Twice his weight, actually. He is the Guardian...
Seriously? Twice his weight?
Yeah, because Godzilla is 20,000 metric tons.
Huh.
Go figure.
Well, I guess all the completely biologically sensible metal drills add weight to him.
Yeah, we'll get to those. He is the guardian and technically god of the underground kingdom of Seatopia. Like, that's a very strange combination of words. The underground kingdom of Seatopia.
Wait a minute. Why is an underground utopia called Seatopia?
So, you all know the Atlantis mythos. Atlantis, a very high-tech city that angered the gods, and because of it, it was smite and usually taken out by like a wave or something, or earthquake or something. In most of the mythos, Seatopia is essentially Toho version of Atlantis. Rather than being destroyed, it was sunk underground, under the sea, and they basically been living underground this whole time. So mole people.
I'm surprised Japan didn't try to sue Disney for Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
You know what? Probably because it's Toho and not Nintendo. It's the only reason we didn't see a lawsuit.
Probably. To be fair, side note, Disney Lost Empire, Atlantis, very underrated Disney movie.
Yeah, no, very good movie. I prefer those Atlantean to Seatopians, but...
Yeah, because what...
We're gonna get into how wacky the Seatopians are, because they are... There's something. Let's see, his abilities, the giant horn on he looked like a stag beetle for those listening on Spotify. So just imagine a bipedal stag beetle with drills for hands. Yeah.
Again, makes perfect sense.
Make perfect sense. He can fire a laser beam. It's called the Beast Killer laser beam that he fires from his horn. A yellow lightning bolt like beam that can destroy that is capable of melting an exploding vehicle and destroying man-made structures. He has the geothermal napalm, which are these little essentially fire bombs that he fires from his mouth that explode. Of course, you can't miss his drill arms, 2 giant drill-like appendages, that he used to either dig or fight hand to hand. To this day, do not know why he got drills for arms. If you were hoping to figure that out, there's nothing to show that the Seatopian made it. I have a theory, and we'll get to the theory when we get to the comic books of him.
I'm just gonna say, I dig it.
Oh, God
I'm
dang it!
going to beat the shit out of you the next time I see you. I am going to beat the ever-loving shit out of you the next time I see you.
I should add it in the dun-dun somewhere in here. Man, I need to figure out where
I'm
to
gonna
add
murder
it in.
you.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Jeez.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
It was there. It was. Someone was gonna do it. I had to. It was
He's
calling to me.
You could have remained silent, and that would have been it.
It was there. If I hadn't have done it,
And it
all
could
the
have
comments
stayed
would
there.
have been
It could have stayed on the shelf, but you took it off the shelf.
It was calling to me. It
Hang
demanded
up.
it. It had to be done.
oh, jeez. To get off that topic, he has hurricane winds. He's able to produce wind gusts of 1,000 meters per second to decimate buildings. We don't ever see this. This was put out in the Toho Special Effects All Monster Encyclopedia. So
I was gonna say I don't remember him doing that.
yeah, he never did this in the movie, and I don't even believe I've never seen any comic books where he did this either. But since the official Toho Encyclopedia say he can do this, I decided to include it in here.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I thought a bug ground type couldn't do wind attacks.
No, wait.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding! I was making an offhand joke about Pokemon,
Oh,
and
actually,
that's
hang
an
on.
actual
No.
thing.
Now I need to see
Zed-
if Ninkata can learn aerial ace. Hang
Okay,
on.
Oh,
yeah,
bloody
because I
hell.
was just thinking, Zed, don't we have a bug ground type who can learn a flying type move? If I'm
There's
I'm more than
actually a
positive.
bug ground type.
yeah.
Yes, there is, and I'm now
come
about to see if it
on.
can learn aerial ace. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can learn aerial aid. Yeah, because
I
I'm
was
pretty sure it can
joking.
too. That's why I'm looking for it. Hang
I
on.
was literally
Where is
making
Nikita?
up nonsense.
Pokemon
Okay, there's
serious
Nikita.
business, Archimage. We don't joke about this.
Oh, for heaven's sake. That
Ninkata
was
can learn
Pokemon
aerial
God
ace. Yes,
There
it
we
can.
go.
We have a bug ground type that can learn a flying move. Oh, it can learn 2 flying moves. It can learn Gust too.
Now I gotta ask, can it learn Harden?
I am more than positive it can. Yes, that's one of its
Well,
innate
that brings me
moves.
to the next thing that the Toho Special Effect All Monster Encyclopedia said. It is protected by a shell which is similar to in hardness to a diamond.
Oh, so this thing is just an overgrown Ninkata.
Yeah.
Okay. That's easy. I've killed several of those. I don't know how they ever had issues with this thing.
Well, I mean, they really don't have much issues with him.
Oh, good.
He's so Megalon. His personality is very. If Gigan was the sociopathic, I like to hurt things because I like to pull the wings off of a butterfly to watch it squirm. Megalon is the haha, I like to push someone down the stairs and point and laugh at them while they're trying to get back up.
Knew a kid like that in high school.
Yeah, so I mean, people have drawn to the fact that he doesn't. In the movie, he takes more time to taunt Godzilla and Jet Jaguar than he does to actually keep attacking them, which let them, regain their footing and come back at him. So he's very arrogant, which leads me to his final ability that the encyclopedia named him with, which was his horn double as a radar, and possesses eyesight, and he possesses eyesight superior to that of humans by 100-fold due to his compound eyes.
Well, I mean, in the Godzilla universe, isn't that kind of like typical?
Yeah.
Wait, do they actually use the term compound eyes?
Yes.
Oh. I'm
Yeah.
surprised Pokemon didn't sue them, because that's a Pokemon ability.
Seriously?
Yes. There is a Pokemon. I'm gonna double check, but I'm more than positive there is a Pokemon ability called Compound Eyes.
I think it's full Butterfree, if I'm not
Again,
mistaken.
I was joking.
Wait,
I'm checking.
Zed, I got a new theory. Maybe Megalon's a giant Pokemon.
I think he's a giant Pokemon because, oh, what do you know? Nincada, the thing I was just talking about, gets Compound Eyes.
Okay, I need to.
Okay, I'm fully convinced this thing is an overgrown Nincada.
Oh dear God! Is this what? Remember that episode of Pokemon where they had those giant Pokeball things, artifacts to capture that giant Gengar? Is that what this thing is?
And the Cetopian calls him into battle like a Pokemon.
It's an ancient overgrown Nincada. That's exactly what this thing is.
Oh dear God! This is the this Godzilla movie is an ancient episode of Pokemon.
Edit to me, get a picture of Nincada and put this in here.
Oh God!
Yeah, you better get a picture of Nincada and put it right next to this thing.
If I don't do it for the full episode, I will do it for the shorts. I can guarantee I will do this for the shorts.
Because that is ridiculous.
How did we start this and figure out there was a link between this and Pokemon? How weird is Pokemon that can somehow attach itself to an old Godzilla movie?
Oh man, now I gotta look this.
This is what's happened. This is life. This is what life is. How is that possible?
Okay, to lead on to the next one. Let's see if this one become a Pokemon. This one may become a Pokemon. Jet Jaguar.
I mean, honestly, my comment is he looks a lot like a smiling version of Ultron.
Yeah, well, invented by Guru.
Actually, he looks like a cross between Ultraman and Ultron.
I'm sorry, Ultraman. I meant smiling version of Ultraman. Sorry, that's what I meant. Not Ultron.
Well, he was invented by a Japanese.
It's not Ultron. It's Voltron. I meant. God, I've mixed up. I've combined the two.
You have mixed up like 3 different franchises now.
Yes, and from a joke. I was joking.
He was.
I gotta stop making jokes.
Unlike Ultraman, he's not an alien. He was invented by the scientist Goro Ubuki.
Wait, Ultraman's an alien?
Yes. Well, yes. Kind of. He's technically Ultraman is an alien, but when he came to Earth, the first Ultraman I'm referring to, he got injured and he fused with a human.
So he's like the Guyver.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. I never actually watched the show.
I think Guyver was based off of Ultraman, if I'm remembering correctly.
Got it. Yeah, I never actually watched the show.
And that's only the first iteration of Ultraman. There have been like 15 different iterations, each one of them different in their own ways. But usually it's always a Ultraman is an alien who's fusing with a human to help them.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Jet Jaguar is very I didn't see too much in here about them directly making him like Ultraman, but I have a feeling he was easily well, let me actually give some of his stats and then I'll go into how they came up with his design. He's 50 meters tall, 25 metric tons. His abilities are he can fly at Mach 3.5. And of course, we can't forget his ability, size changing at will. He can grow from human size of 180 centimeters, 1.8 meters, to the height of 50 meters. And then shrink back down to 1.8 meters. So, and I had to leave a note in here because it's the only explanation the movie gave of why he could grow and shrink on command, because he was invented by a human who did not remember making him the ability to do that. And the inventor said he programmed himself in some way to increase in his size. That's the only explanation we ever get for that.
Yeah, I remember that. I said it was BS when we were watching the movie.
I was about to say that's not how physics work, and then I remember the universe that we're in, so physics doesn't mean shit.
That's not how programming works. That's not how molecular structure works. Like, that's not how a lot of things work. That's not how cellular structure works. That's not how anything works.
Which brings me to the next part that also... And what got me was they specifically say he programmed himself to increase in size. I'm like, that's not how programming works.
Well, yeah, he also defied the basic...
Clearly it does.
And the other thing to note is he do have super high intelligence. I would say somehow he gained sentience.
How? He's a machine.
Exactly. He was a machine, and somehow he gained sentience. And the only explanation I ever got that made sense was he was programmed to obey orders. He was given the orders to defend mankind and defend himself. And somehow he gained enough sentience to figure out the best way to defend himself is to, 1, go get Godzilla, and 2, somehow give himself the ability to grow in size so he can help defend himself and defend the planet.
So it's Power Rangers logic.
Yes.
You get stronger if you grow.
Yes.
I mean, it works so well for the monsters.
Given how popular Super Sentai is over in Japan, that makes sense.
He is... Jet Jaguar is incredibly strong. He's capable of lifting 25,000 metric tons. So he literally can bench press himself.
Damn.
So he is incredibly strong.
To be fair, Japan does love giant robots.
And he's really doable because he got the top being out of him by 2 different monsters and was still standing, able to help Godzilla fight them. His only real weakness is when he gotta fight more than one monster at a time. Usually, if he fight any monster 1v1, I would put more money on him winning.
Yeah, though his rubber metal does tend to get dirty.
Yes, and which bring me to the design for him.
What the hell is that?
So, Jet Jaguar was the result of a monster design campaign held by Seiyu from the end of 1971 to January of the following year, called the Children Monster University. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Japanese version of that. Which was...
I would recommend trying not to do that as well.
Which was co-sponsored by Toho and I'm going to butcher this. Wire Production. The winner of the contest, a boy named Masaki Sano, had submitted a drawing of a monster called Red Alone. That's where his first, the nickname I gave him, Red Alone, that's where it came from. It went by several other names. One of the other names was Red Aaron, Jet Alone, Ace Main. And the design you're seeing, if you're looking on YouTube, which look pretty much same color scheme as Jet Jaguar, just with more monster-like head. That was, I think, the original, the kid's drawing turned into a actual 3D looking design. But that's it. If you've ever wondered why Jet Jaguar looked a little bit different from all the other designs, that's why. Because it was essentially a fan contest that was sponsored by Toho, and they took the design that won and made it into Jet Jaguar.
How old was... I'm assuming it was a kid who
No, it was a kid. This was full kids. This was straight up a kid contest.
How old was the kid? Like,
I do not know.
I want to guess 10.
I would say that's a safe bet.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like someone from like 7 to 10 11 tops would draw.
Yes. No, it does look very like the design does look something that it looked like something you see from one of the Sentai that is directly aimed for the younger kids.
Yes, 100%.
That's what this looked like. This looked like something from one of the early days of Sentai TV series that is geared directly towards a young audience. Really, it looked like something that Manila would hang around with.
It kind of does. I mean, it honestly looks like a Power Rangers villain.
And honestly, I had to give him one other perk, one other very good strength that everyone loved about him. A brilliant thumbs up and a smile that inspire hope.
Awesome.
I've seen soulless white eyes. I think this is the first instance of soulless black eyes that I've ever seen. I didn't even know that was possible.
Again, the rubber metal is just like that. That's what's killing me. The foamy metal is what's killing me.
That's what's good.
And the smile looks creepier as metal than it does as a drawing.
Oh. But with that, we do
like there's either no soul or no brain behind those eyes. One of the two. He's missing one of the two.
Oh, with that, we gotta get into the Godzilla vs. Megalon 1973 film, which featured both of these monsters. There was an American poster that did not age very gracefully.
Oh.
Oh.
For those on Spotify, is a picture of Megalon and Godzilla fighting each other on top of two buildings. The World Trade Centers.
Okay, look, I remember the movie. First of all, they were nowhere near that.
They were in Tokyo.
They were not. They were completely in Tokyo.
This was specifically made for the U.S. audience. It was pulled clearly after 9/11.
Yeah, just
but
like
to be fair, it was pulled even before then because this was a alternate cover.
Yeah, and it's kind of like when they pulled that trailer for Spider-Man where he got the helicopter caught between the two towers.
Yeah, this is pretty close too.
Yeah,
this one's
bad
even
optics.
more risque. So.
This is worse. Spider-Man at least only had the trap there, and that was it.
Yeah, this one we literally got planes.
This one they are physically on the buildings.
Yeah, with planes flying around.
With planes and stuff firing like missiles.
I'm more surprised those towers could support their weight.
Yeah. So to go into detail of this movie, a underground nuclear test on Osaka Island triggers seismic aftershocks felt as far away as Monster Island. And these seismic events anger the Seatopian because basically these nuclear tests, the Seatopian took that as a active threat against them. And because of that, they another seismic event triggered at Lake Kitayama, and this was where the inventor Goro Ibuki was enjoying a picnic with his friend Hiroshi Jinkawa and his little brother. I'm gonna butcher this, but Rukuro, the little boy riding the dolphin boat in the middle of the lake, and the lake basically have a whirlpool form in it, nearly pull in that boy until Goro and Jinkawa is able to pull him back to shore. And as they're going back, they find an intruder in the lab. They fight him off. It looked like he was trying to steal either some evidence or possibly Jet Jaguar, what Goro was working on. And they let's see. And that's when they got the message from the undersea kingdom of Seatopia, which you talk about a mismatch of a civilization right here.
Yeah.
This is the less strange picture of them I found.
It really is. And yeah, I see what you mean about people saying, oh, the new Godzillas are so silly from America. You know what?
So for those,
yes, because they were so serious before.
For those listening,
what are the women on the platform wearing? Are those like see-through bathing suits? What the hell?
I think those are Greek-like togas. Because they remind me of like.
No, you're talking about the 6 people that are like kneeling, right?
Oh, the kneeling people. Which one?
Yeah, the kneeling ones that are wearing.
Yeah,
they're
wearing like see-through robes with white like bikinis underneath them or something.
No, they are. They all wearing transparent robes with bikini on them with pointy heads. With the guy in the middle looking like he's doing a "My heart goes out to you" salute to everyone.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, look, see-through dress, but white bikini undergarments. Look, something about that is mismatched.
And let's not forget
for one purpose of the other, it's mismatched.
Let's not forget the statue in the background that is from what's that island with the giant heads?
Shit, Easter Island.
Easter Island with the Easter Island statues behind him.
Ironically, while we're recording this on Easter.
There we go. We managed to fix it. We've managed to fit in Easter somehow. But they feel that because these underground nuclear tests have been taking place, they see this as a threat to them. They are angered by the surface world, and they want to deal with them once and for all. So they summon their guardian/god Megalon to go up to the surface and attack them. They managed to get their agents above the surface to go back, break into the Goru's lab, knock out him and Jinkawa, and then they steal and reprogram Jet Jaguar to lead Megalon to Tokyo. I have no idea why Megalon needed a guide to Tokyo, but okay.
It seems like all these monsters have just innate like homing signals to Tokyo.
Right? But
they're like carrier pigeons. They have the innate homing to where they came from, but they all just happen to know where Tokyo is.
This is why Megalon gets seen as the dumbest monster, because he had to have a guide to find Tokyo. And it didn't even work out well for him because at this time Goru and Rokuru the kid was taken hostage, put in the back of a truck. Through some shenanigan, they get freed. And they regain control of Jet Jaguar. And Megalon, after losing his guide, just started to hop around and aimlessly wander about. And just by sheer luck, or whether it's because of the Japanese Defense Force, ultimately do find its way to Tokyo. And proceed to actually do a very good job of wrecking the Japanese Defense Force and Tokyo by himself. At this time, Jet Jaguar fly all the way to Monster Island, seen as the only way to defend himself and defend the planet is to get Godzilla to help. Managed to communicate to Godzilla via sign language and get Godzilla to follow him to assist him.
Well, to be fair, I guess if King Kong can learn sign language, why can't Godzilla, right?
Well, this has always been implied that this is less Godzilla knowing sign language and more of Jet Jaguar just somehow can communicate with monsters.
I mean, is either
everything else
any
he does
less
makes
ridiculous?
more sense than anything else.
Yeah, so
yeah, like, is there any version that isn't ridiculous?
Well, and then we get to, I'm glad you said ridiculous, because then we get to he grow in size to fight Megalon.
Yes, despite, physics saying matter cannot be created or destroyed, this is what happens.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out which Power Rangers method he actually used to grow. Considering, there's however many seasons worth, there's that many growing techniques.
Well, that's the thing, Zed.
Based on the surroundings, I'm saying Rita Repulsa.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't have any external staff or anything fly in, but he does, I believe, strike a pose before growing. So if you can name a Power Ranger season where the monsters strike a pose before growing, that's the one.
Believe it or not, I can answer something. There was a Power Ranger season. Remember the end of the Zeo one where the Power Rangers grew by striking a pose.
And then they never did it again, which made no sense.
He's a Zeo
And it
Ranger.
was good because it was stupid.
He's a Zeo Ranger. We got it.
It's possible he has a Zeo crystal. You know what? That would make more sense than anything.
Maybe he's powered by a Zeo crystal.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And you know,
there we solved the mystery. Jet Jaguar is powered by a Zeo crystal, which we know from the comics. There exists many. I mean, there's a planet made of Zeo crystals, so there has to be more than one.
There's been 2 Godzilla crossover comics. Both of them take place with the Maya Morphin saga, so it's not too crazy to believe this is before they got, because the 2 crossover take place with Maya Morphin before they got the Zeo crystal. So it's not too far-fetched to believe that he had one before they got it back.
All right, there. We have the answer.
We got the...
Out of curiosity, did they strike Jet Jaguar and random sparks flew off of him?
Oh, constantly.
Okay, so he was being protected by the morphin grid because we know that's what the sparks are.
Constantly. That's all. That's the whole fight.
All right,
with him.
nope, that confirms it. Jet Jaguar is the first Power Ranger to exist. There, we've solved the mystery.
Let's see. He's actually doing very good against.
Oh my God, he's the first Alpha.
Oh God, Alpha 1.
He's Alpha 0.
No. The comics show us who Alpha 1 is. This is Alpha 0.
Oh damn! So Alpha really took downgrades going into the future, didn't he?
Yeah, because Jet Jaguar is
namely because Alpha started talking.
Yeah, you know what? It makes sense.
Which actually, I only say that for some of the annoying voices that Alpha got. The original voice is fine.
We would be lucky if Jet Jaguar was Alpha, because he actually can fight monster. He does proceed to fight Megalon, and not only do he hold his own, if the fight was left by itself, he would just straight up mop the floor with Megalon, and that would have been in the movie. But this had to get more confusing, because what's stranger than Atlanteans that live underground? They got a one-way... Space alien. They have a one-way call with the M Space Hunter Nebula aliens, which mean Gigan showed up.
Again, perfect sense.
The comics may put in suggestions of what's going on, and we'll get to that when we get to the comic part of this. But as a kid, I could never figure out why Atlanteans had a one-way call to space aliens. Yeah.
It was a special on their mobile plan?
Apparently so. And needless to say, Jet Jaguar cannot fight 2 monsters at once. He does ultimately start to lose, but Godzilla do show up and start to turn the tide. Look like Godzilla is about to take them both out by himself, but they play dead, and ultimately the fight goes sideways for Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. They try to ultimately barbecue them by using Megalon's napalm bombs to surround them. I don't suppose Inkata can learn a fire type move, or like seed bomb or something like that.
Aren't bugs weak towards fire? Why do I know this?
Ninkata can learn...
I'm just curious now. How far can we go with this?
What type move are we looking for?
Some type of fire move, or a move that can cause burn, or a move that is like a bomb or a... I'm just curious.
Surprisingly, Ninkata can learn Solar Beam.
Okay, I'll work with that.
I don't know how, but it can.
You know
I'm looking
what?
for anything
Zed,
else.
I'm happy you said that. The lightning bolt from his horn, that could be a solar beam.
Okay, well, that works.
How is this so related to Pokemon?
So, I'm not seeing a bomb move, but it can learn some grass moves like Giga Drain. Okay. And when it Dynamaxes and turns into a max move, that becomes Max Overgrowth, which is essentially throwing a bunch of giant seeds.
That could be it. The giant seeds, maybe.
So that's the caveat to the. And to be fair, Dynamaxing is making the thing go giant, and this is a giant bug.
That's true. And to get even stranger, Jet Jaguar could fly Godzilla and himself out of the fire.
Yeah, of course he can.
Because he can lift 25,000 metric tons. So Godzilla is, I think he's exactly that weight. So yeah, that all checks out. And after they get out of the fire, well, they proceed to beat the bricks off of Megalon and Gigan. Godzilla beat the tar out of Megalon, going so far as not only to barbecue him with his atomic breath, but when Megalon tried to play dead and shoot a napalm bomb into his face, Godzilla dodged it and caused it to fall back into his mouth and detonate in him. Which doesn't kill him, but does cause smokes to puff out his mouth. So, he's one of the few monsters to be hit by his own techniques. I think one of the only monsters, actually. Which is why many people think he's the dumbest of all the monsters because of that. Gigan, he get his arm. Let's see, because I had a list of what Jet Jaguar does to him. Because Jet Jaguar, let's see, knocked him out of the sky, subdue him, breaks his right arm, and then lifts him above his head and throw him in the air so Godzilla can skeet shoot him out of the sky.
This is the one with the drop kick, right?
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that's how this fight ends. With an amazing flying drop kick to Megalon. Courtesy of Godzilla.
You know, this might be the only thing more absurd than the freaking robot managing to break the laws of physics and grow.
That was... I'm like, wait, isn't this the movie with the drop kick? It is. I gotta put in the drop kick somehow.
You always have to mention the drop kick.
That drop kick's the best.
Again, they talk about the new Godzilla being silly.
I'm like, that's why whenever I hear people make the argument, the legendary is so stupid, I'm like, my brother in Christ, do I have to bring up the story of how Godzilla fought a hook cybernetic dinosaur Cyclop alongside a stag beetle drill like Pokemon kaiju with a giant smiling robot while he do a gravity defying flying drop kick towards his opponents? Oh, and this was all orchestrated by the underground Ceetopians who had a one-way call to the space aliens. Oh my goodness, people. I love the Showa era Godzilla. It's my favorite era, but I'm not too blinded of a fan that I can't see how stupid this sounds. I think that's why I like
brain hurt, or is that just me?
I think that's why I like the Showa era Godzilla. It's just stupid, and this is like,
but it is fun.
It's fun. This is like the perfect thing for a child to watch. Or if you like Power Rangers, this like the giant pizza episode where they cooked them in a pizza.
Oh God, that was stupid.
This is, I mean, you just...
Most of Turbo was stupid because they went with a Sentai they shouldn't have.
So
like, literally, I almost stopped watching. I stopped watching Power Rangers because of Turbo, but then got back into it when they replaced the Yellow Ranger. Yeah, I completely started watching Turbo again because I had a crush on the Yellow Ranger.
So it's like...
Yeah, we know.
Hey, to all those judging me out there, don't pretend you haven't watched something stupid because you had a crush on the actress.
I had a crush on the Pink Ranger, who replaced the Pink Ranger in Full Galaxy. The one who used to be
when
evil.
Corone replaced Kendrick.
Yeah, I had a crush on Corone.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people did.
So I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah.
With that, that's pretty much the end of the movie. In the movie, he shrink back down. He go back to his basic programming, and they say, "I'm sure he'll remember his programming and return to his sentient again if we ever need him." And they walks off, while having his theme song play. A good movie. It's a good movie, but very silly. Which brings me to the comics. The first one would be Rage Across Time. The first issue. I think you read some of this, Archimage. Namely, Probably. The one with the Greeks.
Yes.
This is a little bit after, I believe. No, much after. This one takes place during the invasion of Japan by Kublai Khan. Because Kublai Khan was in league with the M Space Hunter Nebula aliens. And he leads, along with the Mongols, Gigan and Megalon to take over Japan. That seems like overkill back during a time period when the biggest thing people have is maybe a cannon, and that's from China?
Yeah, no, that seems a little bit like overkill. Like, I feel like one would have been more than enough.
They got both of them. This also led me to the theory believing that somehow Megalon was either modified by the M Space Hunter Nebula aliens to have drills for hands, or it was made ultimately by them. Just because, that's my own headcanon, just only because they had control of him at this early time period, which also goes into effect of how they had ties with the Cetopians. They don't really go into detail on how or why they have Megalon working with them. They just do. They are, and to basically kind of sum up a fairly short story, two warriors, Goro Suda, a Suda clan samurai, and Akiko, a female warrior and folk heroine, who are currently fighting each other when the invasion starts. They get told by Daichi Sensei, someone they both respect, that they need to go work together, find a totem that will give them control of a kaiju that could help them defend against Gigan and Megalon. They go on a journey to find this totem, and while the samurais
become Power Rangers, because that's what this is sounding like.
A little bit. The samurai try to hold off Kublai Khan, and I don't know what the hell they would do against Gigan and Megalon. Just pray for a fast death. I can only imagine.
Again, I'm going, they became Power Rangers.
Well, they ultimately find a monster, and it is Godzilla. And they lead Godzilla into Megalon and Gigan. He does fairly well until they gang up on him, because, again, they're under control of the aliens. Akiko take a shot at the aliens' control modular, and they break the control they had over Gigan and Megalon, which, if you remember the previous one, the monsters only really fight well. The space monsters seem to only work together well when they are under control. When they're not under control, they cannot coordinate with each other. So it wasn't a good time for them. One thing, very special little mention, the shadow of Kublai Khan. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. He's one of the damn cockroach aliens.
They give the hint that they say that Kublai Khan is a M Space Hunter Nebula alien. He's a cockroach alien. His shadow is a cockroach. Yeah. Needless to say, once he loses control over them, Godzilla easily beat the tar off of them, and they quickly run away. And if you remember your history, Kublai Khan's invasion of Japan is supposed to be taken out by tsunami. Well, history fudged the detail a little bit.
Makes sense.
Just a tiny little bit.
I mean, tsunami's easier to explain than a giant radioactive lizard.
Yeah, they both have the end game result.
But it's in the water, so I guess, close enough.
And they basically end off saying, let's hope Godzilla never come back to attack Japan. Is basically how that's how they end off the story. Other than that, I did want to give honorable mention to another Toho / Japanese mythos. Orochi. That was the original monster that they went to go get. Surprisingly enough,
so a Hydra?
Yep. Well, this is actually an actual Japanese mythos.
Orochi is a very specific Japanese
of an 8-headed
dragon type.
I think is it dragon or snake? I know it's a serpentine.
I know it's serpentine. I think it's meant to be like both. I think it is a dragon, but it obviously looks snakish.
Yeah, so
I think it's a mixture.
So this is actually a actual Japanese mythos. Toho did make their version of this, and I think it was in one movie with Mothra, if I remember correctly. I will double check. I'll probably do like a when we get towards the end of this. I'll probably do a special episode with all the monsters that we didn't get around to, like the gargantuans and Orochi, monsters that really you never saw in the Godzilla movie, but they were Toho kaijus. Frankenstein. But the reason I didn't mention him is because he did not last very long against Godzilla. Godzilla almost
somehow I'm not surprised.
He almost took offense to that there was another dragon in this comic book with him.
Yeah, no, he looks like he took offense.
So he did not last very long.
He looks like when Godzilla saw King Kong in the new movie up on the surface, like, did you seriously come here?
One last comic. And this one is with Jet Jaguar. It is Godzilla Rivals, Jet Jaguar versus Megalon. We finally get the 1v1 with Jet Jaguar versus Megalon. This one is about a girl named Jen who started working at a local Manila Burger in San Francisco to take a break from college after she almost committed suicide from having a hard time with college.
Okay, so a normal college student.
Yes, a very normal college student in my opinion, which is scary nowadays. But yes,
right.
I hate college, so I totally can easily sympathize with her. She already had brownie point. Have the worst first day ever when Megalon decided to just literally destroy San Francisco via she was starting her first shift. She fall into an underground facility and find a incomplete torso of Jet Jaguar. Because
that just happened to be there?
Yes, it just happened to be under a fast food joint in San Francisco. Don't ask questions.
Fair, I guess no one would look under a fast food joint. Everybody's too busy upstairs.
I mean, to be fair, if the 2017 Power Rangers movie is anything, the Zeo crystal was hidden underneath a Krispy.
I am gonna say this.
It is somewhere no one
looked. The fast food joint was called Manila Burger.
Son of
I was
throwing that out there.
No, I did hear that. I was gonna say something, but I chose not to.
He was created to protect humanity from the various kaijus, like Godzilla. I don't know how well he he would fare against Godzilla, but okay. He guides her through putting him back together and finishing his assimilation, and he helps patch her leg up. Well, he helped give her a he gave rebar and basically give her a leg brace because her leg is thoroughly broken from that fall.
Yet somehow she managed to put him together.
Like literally she's crawling and he guides her through. He literally talks her through the entire process.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like he straight up has to literally do a whole therapy session with her because like this is a little bit much for anyone who was trying to take a break from college.
That's true.
So he literally does, kind of give her a robotic heart to heart and guides her through the process of, how to pull herself from the rubble, how to crawl around, how to stand up straight with a broken leg. So he basically do walk her through everything. He actually is a very competent robot. He's not talking. He is hooked up to a computer. And while he's hooked up to the computer, he's talking through the computer. That's very clear because after he disengaged from the computer by once he gets assembled, he used his ability to grow. And that's how they escaped the underground facility. And he stopped talking at that point. So it's very clear that he only could talk because of the computer.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait. He uses his ability to grow to get out of the underground facility?
Yes.
Can't he fly?
He can, but remember, he also, there was a giant cave-in. They're literally trapped underground. There's not like a giant hole. Like, he fell through the hole and then like rubble's pretty much covered.
I'm just saying, we've seen this guy like take on kaijus before. I feel like he could get out of out of an underground thing without growing and destroying more stuff.
Yes, but he's also trying to not make sure C doesn't get crushed. Oh, remember, C does have a leg that was bending the other way, and C literally had half her body crushed by rubble. So
all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
So the solution is to make more rubble.
Well, when he grows, he actually do. Well, let's get into it. During this whole time, Megalon is completely destroying San Francisco and punking the entirety of the U.S. Well, I guess would be the U.S. Reserve at this point. And he grows out of there. He is holding her in his hand the whole time, so he is using his hand to shield her.
Okay, that's an awkward position for his hand.
He surprisingly does very well, considering the fact he's literally fighting a kaiju one-handed. Does very well in this fight, all things considered, being literally one hand behind the back. But ultimately, one arm is not enough to fight Megalon. He do start to get the upper hand. And Jin tell Jaguar to put him down and leave her and go fight Megalon. He didn't want to, mainly because C was in a very... C was more than likely about to go into shock. And C was about to pass out. And he was worried that C would die. And his mission is to protect humanity. And C is a human. So, it would be very against his programming to just let her die. But C basically say, do it for the great good, essentially. And he does put her down and proceed to beat the bricks off of Megalon.
Good man.
And yeah, it's completely one-sided at that point. He is completely just beating the bricks off of him. It's not even a fair fight. He ultimately does beat Megalon. Jin is saved. He wakes up in the hospital. Her uncle explained everything that happened afterward. She decides to go back to college and graduate, getting a degree in engineering, saying that with her justification that someone's going to need to fix Jet Jaguar in the future.
At least yeah, because anybody else won't give a damn unless she has 10 years of experience.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, see, he got at least on-the-job experience. He put them together.
Exactly,
in the first place.
That's my point.
See, he's ahead of most people.
As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of college either.
Neither am I. No one wins. So, other than that,
I didn't go, so I'm good.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. Other than
I didn't have money and I didn't want a bunch of debt, so
smart man.
I said lucky bastard.
Little final notes. Megalon's laser beam footage is all depicted using stock. Is mostly, I shouldn't say all, mostly depicted using the stock footage of King Ghidorah gravity beams. So if you look
yeah, he did have those, didn't he?
So if you look at the tanks being melted by lightning and building being blown up by lightning, it's more than likely just King Ghidorah's stock footage. Toho really like to reuse assets all the time.
I'm shocked.
Other than that, any last notes on Megalon, our drill beetle Inkata Pokemon kaiju?
How bad do you think the copyright claim would be if you started playing Go-Go Power Rangers right now?
Oh, we would be blacklisted instantly.
We would die. We would immediately be nuked.
In that case, Megalon, get out here before you give all the go away. While we got Jet Jaguar, any last notes with Jet Jaguar?
All right, wait. What about Ryan Reynolds singing the Pokemon song?
I'm glad.
Considering I think they gave him special permission to do that because of the movie, I think we would still be sued out of existence.
I'm glad Megalon's already halfway back down towards Seatopia now.
Damn.
Only thing I gotta say about Jet Jaguar, he seemed to be a personal fan favorite. I don't know why, but people really love Jet Jaguar. He even got him and Megalon both got another fan film from one of the Godzilla convention. I may show that. We'll probably get around to that because I think that's also canon thanks to Toho. So that because that's like one of the few times people get to see the rubber suit again. But other than that, Jet Jaguar, get out here. You're gone. Have a good time. Keep defending mankind.
You added the sound effect.
Other than that, we got the next episode is gonna be a very big one and a very long one because we're gonna have 3 monsters, and one of them, I think it's gonna be a big surprise for everyone. I'll leave it off with one last hint.
I know that sound, but I don't remember where from.
Yeah. Well, for those watching on YouTube, it looks very familiar. I don't know where I've seen this monster from.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, yes. We'll get to that next time. So, till the next time, it's going to be a big one. We'll see you all then.